George Russell and Kimi Antonelli did something strange at Silverstone. In the middle of their qualifying laps on a flying lap where every tenth of a second matters, where lifting off the throttle costs time, both Mercedes drivers lifted off the throttle before the timing line. Not a mistake, not a setup issue, not a moment of hesitation. A deliberate, calculated, precisely timed action that they had spent days practicing in the simulator before committing to it in sprint qualifying and then again in regular qualifying at the British Grand Prix. The telemetry told the story immediately to anyone who looked at it. Antonelli exits club corner with a 7 to 8 km/h advantage over Hamilton. He is carrying more speed, generating more top speed, doing exactly what every qualifying lap is supposed to do. Then, before the timing line, he lifts, throttle drops to 40%. Hamilton, flat out at 94%, recovers those kilometers per hour and crosses the line 5 km/h faster. Antonelli qualified second. Hamilton took pole. But the gap between them, 11,000ths of a second, was not the result of Hamilton being faster through the lap. It was the result of Mercedes deploying a trick that the FIA banned 3 months ago and that Mercedes has just brought back through a different door. The same gain, the same mechanism, a completely different technical route, and a disqualification risk that makes every driver who uses it hold their breath in the final meters of every qualifying lap. Understanding the Silverstone trick requires understanding what came before it, because the two are connected by the same underlying objective, separated only by the technical route used to achieve it. At the start of the 2026 season, Mercedes and Red Bull discovered something in the new power unit regulations. The 2026 Formula One rules introduced a ramp-down rate, a requirement that battery power must be reduced gradually as the energy depletes, at a maximum rate of 50 kilowatts per second. The regulation exists for safety reasons. On a fast circuit, if a car were to drop from 350 kilowatts to zero instantly, the driver behind would face a car that had lost approximately 500 horsepower in a single moment. The speed differential would be dangerous. The ramp-down rate prevents that, requiring power to bleed off gradually, at 350 kilowatts, then 300, then 250, then 200, until the battery is empty. The problem from a performance perspective is that this gradual reduction costs lap time. The fastest way to use a battery on a straight is to hold maximum power for as long as possible. A ramp down that starts early, bleeding power away before the battery is empty, means lower average power through the final meters of the straight. Earlier in the season, Mercedes and Red Bull found a regulatory exemption. The rule that governed MGU-K emergency shutdowns, a provision designed for genuine power unit failures, contained language that effectively allowed teams to bypass the ramp-down requirement when the MGU-K was deactivated due to a technical issue. By deliberately triggering this emergency shutdown on cool-down laps, teams could manipulate the battery's state of charge in a way that maximized deployment on the subsequent flying lap. The FIA watched cars stopping on circuit in Japan, drivers managing their battery state through the shutdown procedure in ways that were slowing traffic and creating safety hazards. The technical directive came immediately after Japan. The MGU-K shutdown trick was closed. Teams were told the emergency exemption could not be used for anything other than genuine emergencies. Mercedes went back to their simulator. 3 months later, at Silverstone, they had it back. The Silverstone version of the trick does not touch the MGU-K shutdown procedure at all. That door is closed. Mercedes found a different door, one that uses separate allowances in the technical regulations rather than the emergency shutdown exemption. The regulations contain specific criteria under which the normal 50 kilowatt per second ramp down rate does not apply. 2 of them are relevant here. The first, if the driver power demand is negative, meaning the driver has lifted off the throttle. The second, if the IC power is negative and the ERSK power needs to be reduced further to achieve the driver demand. When a driver lifts off the throttle before the timing line, both of these criteria can be met simultaneously. The power demand goes negative, the ERSK needs to reduce output to match, and in that moment, the 50 kilowatt per second ramp down rate no longer applies. The system can drop from 350 kilowatts to zero immediately without breaching the regulation. What this means in practice is that Mercedes can run at the full 350 kilowatt output for longer on the approach to the timing line than under the normal ramp down procedure, because instead of beginning the gradual power reduction before the battery empties, the drivers hold maximum output until the precise moment they need to lift off, and then drop to zero in a single step that the regulation permits under those specific conditions. The lap time benefit is approximately 0.05 seconds. That number does not sound large. In the context of how tightly Formula One qualifying sessions are decided, Hamilton's pole over Antonelli at Silverstone was 11,000ths of a second. 0.05 seconds is a meaningful margin. It is the difference between the front row and the second row, between pole and second, between controlling the race from the front and having to fight through the field. The key insight, which Mercedes took weeks to develop, is that lifting off before the timing line is not losing time on the straight. It is the action that makes the full 350 kilowatt straight line deployment possible in the first place. Without the lift, the ramp down begins earlier, and the average power through the same distance is lower. With the lift, maximum power is held longer, and the lift itself happens after the critical speed advantage has already been generated. Drop a comment. Do you think other teams should copy this trick at Hungary? The reason Mercedes spent weeks practicing this technique in the simulator before committing to it at a race weekend is the specific nature of what happens if the execution is wrong. The gain from the trick, 0.05 seconds, a meaningful qualifying margin, is available only if the driver lifts off at precisely the right moment. Too early, and the deployment advantage is reduced. The car reaches the timing line with less speed than it could have carried. The gain is partially or fully lost. Too late. If the driver holds full throttle past the point where the battery reaches zero, the MGU-K cuts off instantly. The battery is empty. The system has no energy to manage a gradual ramp down, and an instant cutoff from 350 kilowatts to zero is exactly what the ramp down rate rule was designed to prevent. The result is not a time loss. It is a breach of the technical regulations. And a breach of the technical regulations in qualifying, confirmed, measured, recorded in the data that the FIA receives automatically from every car at every session, carries a specific penalty: exclusion from the qualifying session. Exclusion from qualifying means starting at the back of the grid. In a championship as tight as 2026 has become, starting at the back of the grid at a race where championship points are at stake is not an inconvenience. It is potentially a race that decides whether the title fight is still alive at the next circuit. Mercedes' solution to managing this risk is the audible tone system. When the battery reaches a designated level, calibrated with enough margin above zero that lifting off will allow a clean completion of the ramp down without the instant cutoff, the drivers receive a tone in their earpiece. That tone is the signal to lift. Get the tone, lift, comply with the regulation. Miss the tone, distracted by a rival's move, focused on a corner exit, managing tires through the final section, and the consequence is the battery reaching zero before the lift, the instant cutoff, and the post-session notification from the FIA. Andrea Stella, McLaren's team principal, said after sprint qualifying that he was surprised by what he saw from Mercedes. That comment tells you everything about how visible the technique is to anyone watching the telemetry. The rivals who are already exploring whether to adopt the same approach at Hungary, where the Hungaroring-specific circuit layout makes the gain potentially even more valuable than it was at Silverstone, are doing so knowing exactly what Mercedes' risk management system looks like, and exactly what the consequences of getting it wrong are. Mercedes found something that the FIA banned and brought it back through a different door. The MGU-K shutdown trick closed in Japan. The Silverstone version uses a separate regulatory allowance, exploits a different set of technical criteria, and achieves the same result through a mechanism the FIA has confirmed is fully legal, provided the execution is perfect. The 0.05 second gain is real, the disqualification risk is real, and the rivals who are already aware of what Mercedes did at Silverstone are now deciding whether the gain is worth the risk at circuits where the battery state, the circuit layout, and the distance from the final corner to the timing line combine in the specific way that makes the trick available. Hungary is the next opportunity. The Hungaroring's layout may make the technique more powerful than it was at Silverstone. Every team on the grid will arrive in Budapest having modeled whether their car, their drivers, and their energy management systems can execute the same approach with the precision Mercedes demonstrated at the British Grand Prix. What happened at Silverstone was not just a qualifying result. It was a signal that the 2026 energy management war has a new front, one that plays out in the final meters of every qualifying lap, in a tone that sounds in a driver's ear, and in the decision of whether to lift or not that determines whether you start from the front or from the back.